Welcome to Ultimate Autographs. If you were looking for the internet's most exciting and interactive live break room, then you have come to the right place. We are opening live break mystery boxes featuring the biggest names from across the sports world every single day. If you're new to breaking with us, we can help break it down and make it as easy to understand as possible. First, head over to the live break page and look for a series that suits your interests. Most of our series will have 8 spots, which represent the 8 NFL divisions, but other sports breaks or mixers may vary. If you purchase one spot, that means you have a 1 in 8 chance to win that item at an extremely discounted rate. Next, click Add to Cart to purchase your live break spot. Once you've completed your checkout, tune into the next available live breaks broadcast on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube at noon, 3, or 6 p.m. Central Time any day of the week. As you watch, you will see your name appear on the screen when your specific break begins. Your name will go into the randomizer and will be randomized a specific amount of times based on that evening's dice roll number. Once randomization is over, the list of names of people that bought into that live break will be matched up with a specific division. If the item that is pulled from the mystery box matches your division, congratulations, you just won an incredible piece of signed memorabilia. Want to guarantee yourself an item as opposed to testing your luck? Some of the series that you see on the live break page can be purchased under the mystery box tab of our website. Those boxes could either be shipped directly to your door or open live on the air before being sent to you. While you are there, make sure to sign up for our Signature Points Club. This exclusive club earns you points toward specific discounts, signed items, or exclusive events each and every time you buy at ultimateautographs.com. The moment you have been waiting for has come. Let's break some signed memorabilia.
Welcome into the Ultimate Autographs break room here at the noon show, the noon hour. I am your host, Mike Napolitano, alongside my partner in crime today on the producer side, Chinmay. How you doing?
Doing great. First show. I worked with Colin on the first show this morning. It was our first show together, and now working with Mike on our first show together. So should be a good one here.
Yeah.
At noon, orders are just starting to trickle in. They started to trickle in at the end of that 9 a.m. show. You know, the After Dark crew has been on fire.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can carry that over into Saturday afternoon here.
Absolutely. A pleasure to meet you. We're getting to work together for the first time here, but it's still the same deal here in the break room. We got to get to our dice roll and see what that is for this show. Reminder, we always need a 6 or higher on the dice roll in order to see how many times we're randomizing names today. And we get a 6 right off the bat, so that'll be our dice roll today. 6. We have a little bit more housekeeping to do. As always, we need to do our wheel spin to see what our chase is going to be. We got all 8 series up on the board here. It's going to be a loaded afternoon here. Chinmay and I are here for both the noon and the 3 o'clock show, so we'll get a little double dose of us on both shows. But how about the black and blue? 4 boxes left, 2 headliners. The Can't Miss Jerseys has a 50% ratio as well. 3 headliners in 6 boxes. The Diamonds, 9 boxes, 3 headliners. That vault, though, still loaded. Still 3 keys. So I really consider that in my book 11 out of the 17 vault boxes have something more than worth your while, but 8 headliners if you were doing the math in your head right there. Practice Squad, 6 headliners, 14 boxes. Minis, 11 headliners in 27 boxes. The College is still pretty loaded, 15 headliners in 25 boxes, and don't forget, any of those boxes that don't have headliners, they have a one of these little lotto balls, or these, as somebody was saying last night, bingo balls.
Okay.
G54, G54. And then we've got the 1 in 4 series that can't miss, 17 headliners in 27 boxes, so absolutely loaded. Let's get a spin in here and see what we are chasing. Honestly, all of these options are pretty good for today. It is going to be, wow, one of the best options. I got this in the noon show yesterday, I believe, when we had just pretty much started it. The College is going to be our chase for today, the College series. So I'll give you guys a rundown of what is in there. And we can get to the breaks. Chinmay said you said a bunch of stuff was moving. How were we looking?
Yeah, I think, you talk about the college series and the vault series, and Steven in the chat was pushing for the vault in the 9 a.m. and the vault has some movement. That double has 2 spots in it, 6 to go there. But practice squad, 2 spots to go in the practice squad. Still plenty of good stuff in the practice squad. Bo Jackson licensed jersey, Terrell Davis, Ray Lewis, Lawrence Taylor, Mike Evans, all authentic helmets. And then Jim Kelly as a secondary headliner in that practice squad. But 14 boxes to go there, 2 spots to go in that practice squad. And then in the minis, 11 headliners in the minis, and that'll be a double break if we get to that, 4 to go in the minis. So the minis and practice squad also are moving as well. But that the college quad has 5 to go. And that's also the chase. But the college series, the real highlight of the college series, you got 4 speed flexes in the headliners. You have Josh Allen and Bo Nix, 2 of the better quarterbacks from last season, reigning MVP and one of the top rookies. Then you have Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs, and then you have Troy Polamalu, one of the all-time great defensive players. So a wide array there in the speed flex department for the college, but that series is loaded, 15 headliners in 25. And the best thing about the college, I was saying this earlier on the 9 a.m. show, like even the and more section of the college can be very loaded because these players might not be as notable in the NFL, but they were superstars in college. Like we've pulled Johnny Manziel A&M from the Anmore section in college, and we were bewildered as to how he wasn't a headliner. Rip and I pulled Odell Beckham LSU from the Anmore section in college. So the Anmore section in the college is, like we say, 15 headliners in 25. Like those other 10 and more, those could be as good as the headliners in that specific series.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm always a big advocate of the and more series or sections of each of these breaks in these series because of the fact that, yes, these are the big names typically on the board, but we here at the Ultimate Autographs Break Room like to hide a couple of sneaky gems in that and more section where, like, I think it was just yesterday that I pulled a Run TMC Golden State Warriors jersey with a triple sign. Wasn't even a headliner. I mean, that's pretty cool, especially when you're getting 3 names on one and it's a historic jersey. I've seen plenty of hidden speed flexes in some series. I don't know if those are the types of series we may have on the board right now, but you mentioned that college. We started with 7 speed flexes, I believe, in that series. It was either 7 or 8, and there's still 4 on the board. And in total, there are 6, 7, 8, 9 speed flexes amongst our separate series here today. So stacked up. I know that's where you guys usually like to chase the speed flexes. So I'll definitely always promote that. But like Chinmay was saying, that and more section in practically all of these series is going to have some sweet hidden gems. We had somebody in here asking, it was Stephen Remick, for the vault for the chase. I could add
voting.
that.
Yeah, he was voting for the vault for the chase.
Yeah. How are we doing on the vault? Are we anywhere near?
Well, the vault you mentioned, and I agree with you that the vault keys are effectively as good as a headliner item, especially with the $300 key still sitting there. So 8 out of 17. You add the 3, that's 11 out of 17. Look, the chase. Colin was playing kind of fast and loose with the Chase wheel spin this morning.
In the morning show.
He was like, I'll double people's money. Like minimum amount is $50. So I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your show. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, if you want to add the vault to the chase, like.
Well, I was going to give it a time limit. I was going to say if we can get a vault break done by, it's 12:10 basically right now. If we can get a vault break done by, I'll be generous. I'll say by 12:40. That gives you a half an hour to get any vault closed out. That's the single, double, or quad.
Yeah, and your best bet is the double with 6 spots to go, 2 spots already in there.
Okay.
So That's
Yeah.
probably the best bet on the vault.
So
if you
Stephen
wanna-
Remick, if
wanna
you
push
if you
that.
can rally the troops a little bit, and if we could get one vault break, doesn't matter which one it is, single, double, quad, before 12:40, I will add that vault and all the other vault breaks that we do to the chase wheel spin. So. We can definitely do that. Steven asking, is Peyton still available in the practice squad? Unfortunately, no. However, you still have Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis, Terrell Davis, and Mike Evans all on Authentics, a Bo Jackson's licensed jersey, and in a secondary headliner, Jim Kelly. While I'm doing that, we might as well get right over into our rundown from top to bottom.
And you know, we were talking about the Anmore section being filled with hidden gems. Ryan McCall saying, you know, Jim Kelly was pulled in the Jersey Anmore section. So Jim Kelly, who's a headliner, you know,
I was there for that one, yeah.
secondary headliner in the practice squad, was a you know, Anmore portion of the jerseys. So
That's a big
completely
thing.
Yeah, completely agree that, you know, that Anmore section, there are some really good hidden gems, as bonus bangers, as Ricky likes to call them.
Rip has adopted that terminology as well. I like that. But that just goes to show you guys, I'll be completely honest with you, some of these series that we have on the board are a little, like, they're probably a little bit better than others. So that's why you'll see a Jim Kelly in a secondary headliner in one and then in an Anmore section in the other. It's because that can't miss jerseys. That was a little bit better than this practice squad. So, oh, well, Jim Kelly just didn't quite make the list there,
Right.
even in the secondary headliner position. So don't always just look at the headliners. Look at how good the series is, and then your mind can start racing as to say, what else could possibly be in there? Speaking of in there, let's take a look at our college, since it's the first one right here. We dropped that nice graphic with it. We still do have the Josh Allen Speed Flex. That's a beautiful one right there. I love that logo of that Bucking Bronco right on there. Josh Allen on the Bills, but remember, this is the college section, so that's my Wyoming, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go to Wyoming?
Yeah.
I got to know my college a little bit better.
Wyoming
But yeah,
Cowboys.
I love that. Yeah, the Wyoming Cowboys riding the stallion right there. And Josh Allen is quite the stallion as well. Doesn't exactly have a ring on the field, but, you know, he's pulling in the new Hawkeye, Haley Steinfeld, right? We also have Bo Nix in here. Where's he at? He's on a Speed Flex, a ripped Speed Flex.
Yeah,
too.
that's probably one of the nicer items, you know, from an aesthetic standpoint in the college series.
You have the Broncos retro logo on there, ripped in between the Oregon Ducks style on there. So that is such a cool color pattern. Usually you'd see, you know, duck stuff as, you know, green and yellow, right? But they took out the color in here, I think, to make it fit a little bit better with that Broncos lid. And I just love the overall finish of it. We do have a video of that one. However, I don't think we're going to be able to appreciate this one fully until it gets pulled for real.
Right.
We also have CD Lamb in here on an authentic, on the OU bucket right here. It's a nice maroon red with the white face mask that really contrasts with the logo right there. We have the triple sign. I believe that's a Heisman.
Yeah,
Where is
it's
that
actually
at here?
four. So it's actually 4 Heisman trophies because Archie Griffin won twice.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's three players, but 4 Heisman trophies on that helmet. And obviously, you know, the more signatures you have on the helmet,
Higher
the
the
more
value.
value it has.
Yes, sir. So that is George, Smith, and Griffin all on there. As Chin May said, that's 4 Heismans, right? That's crazy. You're not going to find that for that kind of a deal. AJ Brown is still in here as well. Where's AJ? He is.
He's on that Ole Miss, that clean.
Oh
Ole
yeah,
Miss,
right at the end there.
Ole
I
Miss
like
white.
that one.
Yeah.
Very nice as well. We have the Jonathan Taylor Speed Flex
That's
in
also
here.
ripped.
That's ripped with his Colts logo, but also his Wisconsin Badgers logo coming out. I love the way the blue and the red contrast with the white. It makes it look very patriotic, actually. You know, it's very cool. Jonathan Taylor on that. You mentioned Speed Flexes galore in this series. How about another one? How about Troy Polamalu on this USC lid right here? We've seen Troy Polamalu quite a bit recently in this break room, but most of those helmets have been shaken out, just like the dandruff in those Head and Shoulders commercials. But Troy Polamalu is still here on his college lid. That's a unique one, so don't miss out on that one. Terrell Davis is still in here. Where's he at? I'm jumping all over the place. Oh, down that Georgia Bulldogs. Ooh, Georgia Bulldogs lid right there. I'm not a Georgia fan. I just, I love to do it for the people.
I'm also not a Georgia fan.
But yeah, Terrell Davis on that authentic. How about Steve Smith Sr.? That's another guy we've seen in the break room a little bit. But remember, guys, these are the college lids. You're not really going to get a whole lot of opportunities to see these particular lids too often. Steve Smith
the practice
Sr.
squad just closed out, so
Yeah.
we will do that break right now. Thank you guys for closing that out.
Yep. Let me just do the last one here. Is Ed Reed on this? Oh, Rip will be jealous if we pull this one. The University of Miami lid right here. That's a clean. It looks like a rave too. Not a rave. A lunar. So we'll have to see when we pull that if that is in fact a lunar. But Ed Reed right there. In the secondary unphotoed headliners, we have Brian Thomas Jr., LaShawn McCoy, Hines Ward, Warren Moon. We could get a Mooning in the break room, and a Tim Brown. But as we said, that practice squad did close. So let's take a look at the names we have in here. This is Trick Play Practice Squad number 10. If your name is Jason Collins, Josh Rouser, Ryan McCall, Jay Bowerson, please drop me a box number. Just a reminder, as always, you got to wait for the message that is in there for you guys right now. King MC saying 19, and that's Ryan McCall. So we'll get 19 off the ticker for you guys in the practice squad. There it is. All right, so let me get these names in the randomizer. All 8 names. We're going around, remember, 6 times on our randomizations today. Thank you. All right, randomizing 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is a little bit of a breath of fresh air because the last 2 shows I've hit a 12 on the dice roll. So a little less work for me today clicking all these names in here. NFC North belongs to Ryan McCall. NFC South belongs to Josh Rouser. NFC East to Jason Collins. NFC West is Josh Rouser as well. AFC North, Ryan McCall. Ryan McCall is the king of the North. And the king of the South is Josh Rouser, as he has both of those spots. Jay Bowerson has the AFC East. And Josh Rouser is also the king of the West, as he has both the NFC and AFC West. There's Steven rallying the troops. As I said, I'll say it one more time to help Steven out. If we get a vault break done by 12:40, I will add that to the Chase Wheelspin and any other vault breaks that we get done in the show after that. That gives you guys about a half an hour. Well, actually a little bit less now, but about 20 minutes.
25 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so Steven's rallying the troops. The double, the reason he's calling for the double, that is 6 spots to go. So that is the quickest opportunity at getting a break. But here we are in the practice squad. Box number 19. Our box caller was Ryan McCall. We'll see if that brings him any luck. He also had some closer magic in there. So let's see. All right, what do we have here? In the practice squad. Oh, wow. Okay. Very nice hit right here. This is a headliner. 1 box, 1 headliner, guys. I mean, come on, you know me. Let's say I'm usually pulling the NFC North or a headliner. This time we'll go with just a headliner.
Wow.
How about this one, the Lawrence Taylor bucket? That is a thing of beauty. I love the retro Giants look right here. That is Lawrence Taylor on that Giants lid. That is the NFC East. And who did I say was the king of the East? Well, there was 2 separate kings of the East. And the NFC East, that's Jason Collins. Congratulations, Jason. You are going home with this Lawrence Taylor Authentic. You got the Beckett certification on the back right there. I love this retro look on the Giants. You know what I was actually comparing it to yesterday? I don't know if you're a big superhero guy, but it almost kind of makes you look like Magneto.
Yeah,
Bit,
it
know?
does.
It's got
Yeah,
the
I've
striping at
heard
the top.
I've heard the Michigan helmet comparison.
Yeah.
That's the old school. Like it looks like the Michigan helmet, but yeah, the Magneto thing makes sense too.
That or hot rod flames going up the top basically is what we got here. This one we can keep on the table for now, but we may pull some heat in the future. But it is a headliner.
Have some color here on the table.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms is in the minis, but Lawrence Taylor and Phil Simms both. Well, I guess Phil Simms technically didn't deny Abdul Carter his number.
Right,
His family got involved and said he should. But Lawrence Taylor, basically told Abdul Carter to create his own legacy with his own number, didn't give him the 56 to be worn. So maybe we need someone else to not give their number to Abdul Carter, and they'll be in the break room afterwards.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, this is a nice one nonetheless. I do see the Michigan comparison, and there's one more point I was going to make out of it. Oh yeah, so you probably can't see this at home. Actually, you can kind of see this in this light. Most of the helmets that have this effect you can't see because they're all one color and they don't have the decal on here. But you have that little speckled, I don't want to call it glitter because that sounds a little non-masculine football-esque, but it's got this speckled design to it, which makes it really nice for displaying. So a heck of a hit right there. Congratulations, Jason Collins. Throw that one
great
over
hit,
there.
Jason.
So guys, practice squad, we got one of those in. Let's see if we can get that vault for Steven as he's rallying the troops. And then let's see, we'll get back into our rundown here of the break page. We've got more to go over. We just went over the college series, although we do have some videos here. Let me see, which one is this? We pulled that one. That was the Micah Parsons. Here, how about this one? This is that ripped Speed Flex on the Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, it's the Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor Speed Flex.
Very nice. It's got the Colts on the bumper up top over here. The almost blacked out, but blue visor. I really like that compared to the regular blue going up for the Colts on this one. But yeah,
it's got his number on there too.
Yeah, it does. It's on the back.
That's an interesting twist.
Click too many times.
I have not seen that on really any helmet.
I like that. I've seen it on a couple, but if it's a ripped Speed Flex, they typically have the number much smaller and much lower, so it doesn't interfere with the design. I love how the design actually cuts into the numbers on this one. So that is a really nice touch right there. The artistry we have in this UA break room is second to none. How about that Bo Nix, too? Oh, we were talking about how beautiful this thing is. I like how this is almost like a rip in a way where it looks kind of like a duck feather in a way where it's kind of branching out from the back there.
Yeah.
Or like a webbed foot of a duck. Maybe it's a little bit more of a leaf, but still very nice on that one as well. That's our college. Let's get back over into some of our other breaks. Let's take a look at that vault because Steven was asking for it ever so politely. Let's see. In the vault, we have Puka Nacua on this replica, but it's a Rams helmet. Replica Raves Rams. Rams replica Rave. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. Puka Nacua, you could also say 10 times fast too, but that's nice.
I know it's a rep helmet, but that is one of the better helmets left in this series.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Rave, especially when it's one of these. I think the Rams ones really pop compared to some of the other ones. It's my favorite series.
If you look at the type of career that Puka Nacua is on pace to have,
oh yeah,
that thing is going to be a red hot item.
It's going to definitely increase in value as time goes on. How about another guy who has increased in value even in his post-career because he's on all the broadcasts? I don't know about that, Jim. It's going to be really close. I think it's going to be a coin toss. That's Tony Romo on that Speed Flex right there. And it's actually kind of a ripped Speed Flex because it's got the 1.0.
Ripped on the salute to service.
Yeah, 1.0 and 2.0 salute to service, I believe, right there. So Tony Romo on the Dallas Cowboys. I believe we have a video of that one, so I'll get to that in just a second. We also have the Marshall Faulk. Talk about raves. This is a really nice rave right here. Marshall Faulk on that. That's not a blue that you see the Colts use all too often. It's a little bit different of a shade, and I really like the way the signature pops on that one as well. Marshall Faulk. You could also pick up Jamar Chase in this series. That's another speed flex.
Yeah.
This is a tough one to sign on, but he still finds a way to go back here. I always say it's like he's being humble about it, like he's letting the stripes speak for themselves, and the sweet spot of the speed flex doesn't really have a spot for him to put his name. So either, I'll just go on the side over here. Very nice guy. Lawrence Taylor. We just pulled Lawrence Taylor. But hey, how about another one? Where's he at in here? Oh, yeah, that's right. On this camo Giants bucket right here. Camo lids are cool. That is very nice. Or you have, where are my Packers fans? I know you're in here, but me being
here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They were closer than I thought. Chinmay wants the Jordan Love, but he can't get in here, so it's going to have to be won by somebody out there. Who wants this Jordan Love on that all white and green?
I've seen Brett Favre come through here. I've seen Aaron Rodgers come through here. I've seen Jordan Love come through here.
Yeah.
We got all the quarterbacks coming through here. Jaden Reed, who actually he's obviously much younger than me. Went to the same high school that I did. Jaden Reed, I've seen come through here. So the Josh Jacobs is in the minis.
Which high school was that? I always forget.
Matea Valley.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. That's nice.
Out in Naperville.
I've been over there. You guys got quite the cafeteria in there. Or is that built after you were gone?
No, I was actually the first graduating class at Matea Valley.
Really?
Yeah,
okay, all right. Very nice.
I did a year at Wabanzi before Matea was built. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were there for I was talking to you off camera about the Nihil Northern Illinois Hockey League that we do. They had their annual preseason meeting with all the parents and coaches there last fall, I believe it was. So really, really nice school. I really like that area over there too. So, but yeah, Jordan Love right there. If we had, you mentioned all the Packers quarterbacks coming through this break room. If we had all the Bears quarterbacks, we'd need to do more than just the 9, noon, 3, 6 p.m. and UA After Dark shows just to get all of those quarterbacks in here. Unless you had those concert T-shirts. You ever seen those where it says quarterback tour? Yeah, it's still going thus far. I like Caleb Williams.
There's a hope that Caleb. I was talking to some Bears fans yesterday who were basically saying, like, this is our year. And I was saying, Bears fans every late April and early May are saying this is our year.
I don't know about that.
Talk to me in November.
I thought 9 wins was a little generous, and some people are going with
8.5 wins last year. But I think it's fair because Caleb was projected to be that good, and they were playing a last place schedule.
Yeah, true.
Against some truly bad teams.
And I think they can be a very good Bears team, and I think Caleb Williams will have success. I think he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback. It's the tale as old as time. Will the Bears be able to build around that, though?
Yeah.
We were talking about... Are we going to see another good quarterback go out the door like a Jay Cutler? Or I even still advocate a little bit for Josh Fields. I know he hasn't really fully figured it out, but he had some good moments here in Chicago.
He's going to get an opportunity with the Jets. He's going to get a chance with the Jets to prove himself for sure. I was talking about this with Colin because we were talking about like the college series and great college players, and one of the starts of like a brutal sports week for me was the draft when Luther Burden. My boy Luther Burden got picked by the Bears. I was just like, God, this is terrible.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was in the car with a buddy of mine going to a hockey game, AHL, and he was like, I want Luther Burden. Let's hope they take him. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know enough about Luther Burden, but I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, the sad thing was like the week leading up. I know a lot of Bears fans. A lot of my friends are Bears fans. They're like, yeah, like if we're gonna get you a Luther Burden Bears jersey.
Oh no!
if he ends up on the Bears, and I was like, I really don't think the Bears are gonna draft a receiver. Like they have DJ Moore, they have Rome. Like I don't know that they're really needing a receiver. And then Luther Burden, lo and behold, second round Friday night, Luther Burden is a Chicago Bear. My phone starts blowing up. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get a Luther. I'm gonna be given a Luther Burden Bears jersey.
I was gonna say it's been a week here, so expect a package in the mail sometime soon, probably. Oh my goodness. Well, here's a look at that Tony Romo right there. Very nice. Who won the Randy Moss in the vault?
I can check on that for you, Steven.
That would have been either last night. I think he was still on the board when I was here with Common.
Let's see.
I could be wrong though, but yeah, this Tony Romo, really nice salute to service, speed flex, ripped with both designs. Love that one. But also we have the Jamar Chase. Oh, this guy, he's going to go off this year. I just know it. This guy is going to have a career year. Bengals maybe get back into the playoffs. Maybe I'm doing a little wishful thinking because I like the orange and black. And if it ain't the Bears in the orange and black, I want it to be. I do like Joe Burrow and I like Jamar Chase. So I wish them all the best. So let's hope he has a good year. Now that's the vault. That is what Steven is pushing to get a break in. He says 5 to go. Let's do it. So
5 to go.
I mean, we're moving along at a decent pace. You got 10 more minutes though. Can we close 5 spots in 10 minutes? That's 1 spot every 2 minutes. Although if you buy more than 1 spot, it could be quicker than that. So
it looks like the Randy Moss went on Thursday.
oh wow, I'm completely off.
Steven Lenhart won that in the noon show on Thursday.
Steven Lenhart, also the winner of
you're
that
looking
Rip
for,
Tom Brady speed flex.
Okay, yeah, and he also got in that
prize.
same break. He also got Steve Smith authentic. So. Yeah,
Okay,
he was
yeah.
cleaning up a little bit. The Steve Smith, I think it's the Steve Smith Speed Flex in the 1 and 4. That thing is really nice.
Was that during my show actually? 'Cause I'm starting to remember that a little bit now.
Thursday.
I'm
It says
making you go
Rick.
back.
It says Ricky was the
Oh,
producer.
okay.
Were you with Ricky?
No.
You were
So that
producing.
wasn't-
You were producing. I see you as a producer on the 6 p.m. show for Thursday.
Yeah, I was there with Calvin filling in for Dom.
No, Randy Moss was not there. But you pulled a LT. You guys pulled a LT. One of my favorite.
Yeah,
one of my
we
favorite
did.
players growing up. I have a. It doesn't fit me anymore. Obviously, I have the powder blue Chargers LT jersey.
yeah.
One of my first jerseys.
We
that I
had
got.
just put him on the board, and I was immediately erasing him. He came out like right away. I was like, okay, well, there we go.
Don't hide LT.
Yeah. That is our vault. Let's take a look over at this can't miss series right here. This still has plenty of things that would make somebody say, anything is possible. That would be leading off with the Kevin Garnett trophy right here, as he was the MVP of the finals, right? No, that was Jason Tatum.
I think Pierce won the Finals MVP the year that Celtics team won.
Yeah.
Tatum
was
Brown was Finals MVP last year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP. This was a question that Colin posed on the 9 a.m. show: is if the Timberwolves and the Celtics met in the finals, who do you think KG would be rooting for?
Ooh.
I said I think he would root for the Celtics because he won a title with the Celtics, but I think his favorite player in the series would be Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. That's spot on. Maybe he would want Minnesota to finally get one, because Boston has been title town for so long. But I could see your point there as well. I just remembered last year it was, the whole, can Jason Tatum actually get the job done? That's why I was remembering that. But yeah, you're right. It was Brown. But Kevin Garnett's still on this beautiful trophy. How often do we see trophies in here? I mean, go out and get this.
The first trophy. That's the first trophy I've seen
That
of
is
any
sweet.
of any sort.
Yeah.
And I don't think. Look, we may because our owner has tremendous connections.
Yeah.
I don't know that they give out replica Lombardi trophies.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if that's a thing. So this Larry O'Brien trophy might be the best that we're getting here.
Yeah. Listen,
Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we see Lombardis come through.
if you're giving out replica Stanley Cups, sign me up because I'll take one of
I don't know,
those.
yeah.
It might be a little hard to fit in the car.
Yeah, those might be like true replicas. Like there won't be that won't be like the what is it like? It's got to be like north of 20 plates, right? On the cup now.
I actually don't know how many. I have not counted the rings.
More than
I know
20.
it's like 34.5 pounds to lift it, I believe is the exact measurements.
Okay.
But I do actually have a replica Stanley Cup at home.
Okay.
That is full size. No, I think it's like maybe a couple inches short, maybe like 6 inches shorter than the actual trophy
Okay.
itself, but it is the same weight. So when my friends and I, when we have our big hockey tournament in the summer, we're always lifting that thing over our heads and feeling like it's the real deal. So there is that in there. We also have in here the Sterling and Shannon Sharp Slate Hall of Fame Speed Flex. Now, typically, guys, I know what you're going to say to me right now. oh, we don't like the slates because it's not colorful, it's not a unique design. Hey, slates have a place in this break room too. I will not stand for the slate slander, especially not when it is a Pro Football Hall of Fame slate, and there's a dual signature on there. You see the orange and you see the green from both Sterling and Shannon. That is beautiful. You can't go wrong with something like this. I mean, in this case, the neutral colors really work because it's the Pro
Right,
Football Hall
yeah.
of Fame. You know, it's not a specific team, and they still signed in their colors.
You got the double signature
Yeah.
as well.
How about how busy this one is?
That's that Steve Smith
Yeah.
helmet. There's
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a
There
video
is.
too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go click on that in a second. That
That's
is
a really
sick.
nice.
This is
a really nice helmet.
busy. So I'm gonna come back to this one in the video so we can fully understand everything going on in this one. We pulled the bats. That was in one of my shows, I think, with Robbie. We still do have the Erling Haaland soccer ball right there. He signed on the hexagon right next to the pentagon that says Bundesliga. Very nice select soccer ball right there. Erling Haaland, recipient of the Golden Boot. That was 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. I forget which year he won it, but a heck of a goal scorer. He is an incredible, incredible talent.
Yeah, Golden Boot. He would have won in 2020.
Was it
the
more recent?
Premier League Golden Boot, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Norway hasn't played in a World Cup.
No,
so,
no, yeah, no.
Premier League Golden Boot. It would have. I want to say it's 2022.
I could always look it up. I forget. I do know. I'm pretty sure he won one.
I'm pretty sure it's 2022.
You might be right. I got the years wrong. I know it's a while ago, right? So, but then we also have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on this basketball.
2023 he won the Premier
Oh, it was
League
even
Golden
more
Boot.
recent
Yeah,
than we thought.
yeah.
Okay, all right. I'll take that. That's it. That's even better for you guys because that's more relevant. Only a 2-year difference. 2 years removed.
Yeah,
Well,
Erling
really
Haaland.
1 year.
Erling Haaland is only 24 years old.
Oh yeah, so I had him winning it when he was a
He
teenager.
is.
Yikes.
He has a good chance of having all the goal records.
Right. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would get on this quick, guys. I mean, everybody knows the Messis and the Ronaldos, but I wouldn't sleep on Erling Haaland either. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on that basketball, as I said. Now, I've said this a couple times in here, and some of you that are returning guests to the break room, you might think I'm a little bit of a broken record, but I'll say it one more time. Look at what Alexander Ovechkin just did with Wayne Gretzky's goal-scoring title in the NHL. He surpasses it. And what happens? Everything Ovi starts flying off the shelves. But also, everything Wayne Gretzky comes back into relevancy. Not that it really was out of relevancy. It's freaking Wayne Gretzky, right? But at the same time, now people want that because it's another way that they're etched in history together. LeBron James just surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's point total. It's the same deal in the NBA. LeBron James, say what you will about him. I'm not like the biggest fan. I think he's a good person. I think he does a lot of good philanthropy off the court. I think on the court, he does a little bit more than philanthropy when he's crying and flipping around a little bit. But
I'm a.
are you a LeBron fan too?
No, so I'm a Lakers fan and a Bulls fan because when I moved, it's like I grew up watching Kobe and Shaq, and then when my family moved here, I obviously became a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
So I've Lakers and Bulls. They don't play that often. Like I can kind of like Kobe and Shaq. Like I can justify it. And obviously LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, Bulls fans have a hate relationship with LeBron.
I don't full on hate the guy, but yes, I am a Bulls fan.
I can respect LeBron as a person and all that he's had to deal with. You know, basically being given the keys to a professional league at 19 and exceeding even those lofty expectations. And now obviously, you know, he's a Laker, and I enjoy him being on the Lakers. But yeah, like Kareem, I was saying this in the 9 a.m. show. I was saying this, that we talk about MJ and LeBron and this like GOAT debate between MJ and LeBron. And I'm not saying that Kareem is the GOAT, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is lost in that conversation of best NBA players of all time.
It's
6 championships.
Oh, yeah.
6 MVPs, 2-time Finals MVP. One with the Bucks, one with the Showtime Lakers. Played until he was 40, 41.
He had a lengthy career. Yeah.
He was
Those
like
knees held
Iron
up.
Man too. Yeah, like Kareem is lost in that conversation of best players ever. Top 5 basketball player for me, and a rare autograph in the break room.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about that. I mean, and I like what you said there because, like, you're saying, like, Kareem, you're not saying he's, the GOAT or anything, but I think it's the same conversation. And this was the big comparison. You saw the talking heads on ESPN, right? Whose record-breaking moment was more impressive? Was it LeBron James or was it Alexander Ovechkin? And I'm the hockey guy, but I also do side with PK Subban in general, where he says it's Alexander Ovechkin. This guy's only missed like 12 games in his career. The amount of stress that has been put on his body. I mean, he's not only a goal scorer, he's on the physical side of things, but like what you were saying about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's not really in the GOAT conversation. I would not put Ovechkin as the greatest of all time. That's still Gretzky for now. Probably will be McDavid when it's all said and done. However, when you look at Alexander Ovechkin, the title you give to him is greatest goal scorer, not GOAT of all time, but similarly to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I'm not saying it's the complete reverse because I think LeBron James is kind of in that conversation, although he gets thrown in the GOAT conversation more so than just being the greatest point scorer of all time in the NBA. So there's a lot of discussion just around this one basketball. So why won't you bring it home and have that discussion with your friends and family on who you think is the GOAT? Let's take a look over here. We also have some jerseys to get through. We have the John Stockton jersey right there. That's a licensed jersey. You can bring that one home. How about this one for Rip? Unfortunately, he's not here, but if we pull this one, it's the Dwayne Wade
if Rip
Miami
was here,
Heat.
that would be coming out immediately.
Yeah, everything he pulls are his teams. I wish I had that luck.
It's all Miami.
I did pull a Frank Thomas one time. That was fun, but you never know because, hey, guess what my team is the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, yeah, Bedard.
And Connor Bedard is in here, so if we pull that
Licensed jersey, you talk about guys like Ovi and Gretzky. Bedard is starting to rack up some serious numbers, and the Blackhawks have some draft picks. They have some prospects who are looking really good. They could be working with something next season.
It's a brighter future than I think the other 31 teams and markets in the league really give it credit for. I really have some faith, and maybe I am a little bit too close to it here in Chicago. But being in sports broadcasting, I do the research and I see these players at the AHL level as well. And the future is bright for Chicago. Is it going to be the 2010s era dynasty Blackhawks Cups? We don't know. But hey, even if they just win one, and that's got to be good enough to an extent. And having a guy like Connor Bedard, like you said, he's only 19 years old. He's already drawing comparisons both play-wise and stats, numbers-wise, to his idol, Sidney Crosby, which, okay, if that's who you've molded your game around and people are comparing you to him, you did your job, right?
Yeah,
and he's going to
100%.
continue to do his job. And that's another guy, Sidney Crosby, that gets brought up in that GOAT conversation because he's a little bit more of an overall complete player than like an Alexander Ovechkin. Also, he's a little bit closer to what a Gretzky is. He's a little bit closer to what a McDavid is, although the McDavid has maybe the speed on him. But none of that cup chasing for Sidney Crosby would have been possible without this other guy that's right here. It's his partner in crime, Evgeny Malkin, who is friends with Ovi, yes, but then they have the rivalry there, Pittsburgh and Capitals. So Evgeny Malkin on this beautiful Penguins lid right here. Don't miss out on this bucket. That is a really nice one.
Another guy who, again, hockey fans obviously know Evgeny Malkin.
Oh, yeah.
Even the casual hockey, like if you're a casual hockey fan, I was talking about this. Malkin won 3. We looked it up. He won 3 Stanley Cups.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if he had been there for the first one, but like everyone talks about Sidney Crosby, and obviously Sidney Crosby's great.
Yeah.
Evgeny Malkin was basically 1A.
Yes.
Sidney Crosby was 1. Malkin was 1A.
Yes.
Like they were an amazing combination.
I told the story, I think it was on the noon show with Robbie yesterday, that there was a story told on the podcast Spit and Chicklets that one time when some of the hosts were playing, I think it was Ryan Whitney, when they were playing in Pittsburgh with Evgeny Malkin, they won the game in overtime like 5-4. Evgeny Malkin had 5 assists. He assisted on every single goal. And they find him in the locker room, like in the showers, like slamming his stick and like super upset. And they're like, Malkin, what's wrong? He's like, I didn't score. And it's like, whoa, dude, you had 5 assists. Isn't that good enough? That should be more than good enough. He wanted to score on top of it. He felt like he didn't do enough for the team. It's like you did all for the team, So that is great. Speaking of doing it all for the team, He's the number one. He's the tribal chief. Roman Reigns on that Funko Pop right there. WWE Funko Pops are going to be quite the collector's item. I was saying it the other day. There's a reason why stadiums and sporting events still just do bobbleheads, is because if they were to just do a free giveaway at the gate or at the door of Funko Pops, they'd be shelling out a lot of dough. So these things are a little bit more valuable than you may think, especially to a collector of the sorts. So, hey, maybe even a good trade bait piece. And then we have some unphotoed headliners in this series as well. That would be the Aiden Hutchinson, the Jose Ramirez. Now, I'm really hoping, even as a White Sox fan, that is on a boxing glove, and maybe it has a little button with it that you play the audio that goes, "Down goes Anderson."
I think I made this joke when that happened. I think Jose Ramirez was the only thing that Tim Anderson hit that year.
And well, actually, not even that, really. I mean, he only kind of
didn't even hit.
Yeah, he kind of only sideswiped him.
Hit Jose.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is true. That is true, because the biggest thing that my Cub fan friends threw at me that year was that their shortstop on the year, Dansby Swanson, had more home runs at Guaranteed Rate Field than our shortstop in the White Sox, Tim Anderson. I mean, that's just pitiful. That just shows you the purgatory that I've been living in these last couple of years and will continue to live in, because that is what Chicago sports is. We also have Chris Webber unphotoed in there. Steven Stamkos, if you're looking for more hockey, I'm interested to see if that's on a Lightning jersey or helmet or what that's on, or his new current team, the Nashville Predators. And if it's the Predators, then as a Blackhawks fan, I'm going to have to really wash my hands after that one.
You better hope it's on a Lightning jersey.
I hope so, yeah.
Or helmet.
It'll come with a C on the chest if it's got the Lightning jersey there, so that'll be cool. Don Mattingly is still in there. That guy could swing a bat, and I'm pretty sure, I want to say it's on a bat. I'm not sure, though. That's in the secondary photo headliner, so we don't know.
Mattingly was a manager, too, so it could be on a jersey.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. And then Mark Messier, of course, on there as well. I think I mentioned the Reggie Jackson jersey in the photo headliners as well. So could be two Yankees jerseys coming out of there. So because did he manage the Yankees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it says coach.
Oh, coach.
So maybe not a manager.
He was
manager of the Dodgers and Marlins.
Okay.
It says coach for the Yankees, so technically he must have been like a base coach or something.
Okay, yeah, because in baseball they get real sticklers over that. I was just interviewing some managers and coaches of the Frontier League. That's a minor league team that mostly plays Midwest and a little bit East Coast. If you're familiar with those teams, we have the Boomers here by me in Schaumburg, but we also have the Windy City Thunderbolts and the Joliet Slammers. And you have to be careful, because if it is the manager, then yes, you're saying manager. But if it is the hitting coach, it's coach, right? So that could get a little tricky.
Yeah. Jared Keaton in the chat. How do we feel about the MJ City Connect?
The Bulls ones.
The Bulls threads for the White Sox City Connect.
I do like them. Don't get me wrong. I want to go on record.
I'm not a huge fan.
I do like the design, is what I will say. I'll go on record as saying I think it is a very clean look and design. Do I like it as a City Connect? Not really. Like, I feel like that would be a giveaway at the gate if they did like a Bulls night at the Sox game, or vice versa. I feel like it'd be something you'd find in like Rally House as like a one-off like Mitchell and Ness collab type thing.
Yeah.
Or I feel like the fact that the White Sox whole motto this year is 125 years of history, and then you didn't pull from any of that 125 years of history. I just said this on my morning radio show. What are you doing? You could have thrown pinstripes in there with pinwheels. You could have thrown the city skyline in there. You could have thrown some retro White Sox logos. I know that's kind of sometimes been done to death. Just ask Chris Sale. He'll start cutting them up in the locker room. But, like, I mean, you could have done all of that. 125 years of history, and you go with a completely different team. Now, what I also do like about him, one more point, is that it's the first time an NBA jersey or design will be featured in a collab on field with an MLB team. That's kind of unique. That's kind of cool. But is it enough to really get me to go out and get one, especially when you already had those Southside City Connect jerseys? I don't think those will ever be topped. I think that's peak City Connect.
Those are really good. I don't generally mind teams experimenting with like uniform combinations and things of that nature. And I think obviously, Reinsdorf owns both teams, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
like neither team has won anything since '05.
Yeah.
Like what are we what exactly are we promoting here?
Right. Did you see how all the championship years were on the collar, and then somebody circled 06 and 17, and they go, "Is that 1906 and 17?" And somebody's like, "Yes, that's what that is." Like, I guess it was somebody that was unfamiliar with the fact that the Sox won all those years ago.
What
But why are you putting that on?
What has either team won in 2 decades?
Why are you flaunting that? Like, I know why you're putting it on there because you want to include all the championships, but I maybe would have left that out of a design piece, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Like, what are we doing here?
Or just put like 6
White
rings.
Sox, I said this in the earlier show. Like, do the White Sox and Rockies think like Cooper Flag is waiting at the end of the season for them to are they taking for Cooper Flag? Like, what's going on here?
Somebody tweeted out, they were like, "Do you think Jerry Reinsdorf is worried that the Rockies are coming for his record because they're doing so poorly this year?" The White Sox just set that awful
Jarrett
record.
is saying Southside definitely taking the win though, and I 100% agree. Those connects were very clean.
And it's nice that they'll keep those, is what they were saying. They will keep the South Side ones. So MLB rules say that you have to have 4 jerseys and 1 alternate, which in this case, if you're getting a City Connect, would be an alternate.
Yeah.
So the Bulls collab is the alternate, which means the other 4 jerseys that the White Sox will be using, it'll be probably the all black, the white pinstripes, the South Side, since they said they're going to keep them as an alternate, and then maybe like the home or road grays, maybe I think is the other one that they'd probably stick with, and that means that's probably part of the reason why they don't do the throwback jerseys on Sundays anymore. Is I hear a lot of people complaining about the red, white, and blue SOX.
That's as if there weren't enough things to complain about the
Right.
White Sox.
Yeah.
That's another one.
So I think that's why I had to go.
Let's start with winning some games.
No kidding.
Steinke Buds, I believe that's Austin because he got in the college quad. He was saying 4 spots left in that college quad, and he's correct.
Oh, okay.
4 spots left in the college quad, which is the chase for this show. That could be really great because you still have 4 speed flexes in there. A whole bunch of authentics, and we were talking about the Anmore section. The Anmore section is pretty good in all of these series, but really where you can get the most value, I feel really where you can get the most value for it is in the college.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And we did run down the college a little while ago, and that was right around the time we were doing a practice squad break, but we didn't get a chance to really run down the practice squad. So let's take a look at this one in here. This is our practice squad. I did read the names off for people that were looking to get in there, but we did pull one of them. That was the Lawrence Taylor, so that is off the board. However, we still have authentics in this Ray Lewis. We saw Ray Lewis in a speed flex. Actually, I think 2 speed flexes within the last week, or the last couple of days, really. So don't miss out on getting your own Ray Lewis. Yes, I know it's not a speed flex, it's an authentic, but they display just as nicely. It's still as clean of a looking helmet, and I love that alternate Ravens.
The alternate logo.
It
on
looks
the
more
Ravens is
menacing.
very clean.
I call it the Edgar Allan Poe logo. And then I was told, I think it was either by Rip. Yeah, because Rip's also Baltimore. He was saying, did you know that they have 3 mascots that parade around? Edgar, Allan, and Poe. And I was like, I didn't even realize that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, get that Ray Lewis in there. Don't wait to get your spots. Terrell Davis is in here as well on that retro Broncos logo. We have a bunch of alternate logos in this series, which is very cool to see, either retro or current alternate. So Terrell Davis on that Mile High bucket right there. We also have the Mike Evans on this burnt orange. Here's your Kentucky Derby bet of the day. $2, trifecta box, total wager, $12. Journalism, sovereignty, and Birmingham Square. If it pays out, you can thank me. If it did not, blame common. Yes, Jersey Slime actually gave me this this bet yesterday in the chat. I have yet to go and attack that, but I hope I could do it.
Look, if journalism wins, that would be phenomenal for a lot of people. Journalism is the favorite. I looked it up earlier today. I don't know. I'm sure the odds have changed a little bit.
Possibly.
I don't know much about horse racing. We've just done a bunch of Kentucky Derby content the last week at my other gigs, so I've become sort of a horse racing expert. But yeah, the trifectas and the superfectas and whatever other bets there are, like if that pays out, I'm sure it pays out a lot.
Yeah.
especially the trifecta. Yeah, because that's got to be exact.
Right. Yeah. In that order.
But
right?
yeah, I mean, hopefully journalism wins.
I hope so.
That would be phenomenal.
Good luck, Jersey Slime. I know hockey hasn't gone the way you've liked this year with the Rangers and the Devils, and I was pulling for you, even though I knew it wasn't going to happen. But yeah, hopefully horse racing is your spot. We didn't actually do any horse racing on the show this morning, and as I was driving here, I was like, oh shoot, I totally forgot to put all that in the notes, because my friend of mine reminded me yesterday, sent me a picture of him watching the whatever the prelims were for the Kentucky Derby, the Churchill Downs stuff, and I was like, oh shoot. So one thing you can do is check to see if any of the horses has done well on a sloppy track. Okay, all right, that's good news.
A little bit of insight there.
There's not a whole lot of horse racing locations here in the Chicagoland area anymore. There used to be two. There was Maywood Park, and then there was Arlington Park.
Arlington,
and Arlington
is now a potential Bears site.
Yeah.
For the new stadium.
Yeah, the Bears ownership owns that land, and they've torn down the racetrack that was there. I was only ever there once, and it was for a work outing.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was doing, but a couple of my work friends were like, "This is how you bet. This is how you do that." So it was fun. I mean, it's a fun time, but I will say I wish I got to go there more before it was torn down. But hey, if the Bears end up moving to Arlington, I'm over in Schaumburg, I would actually welcome it. I know there's some people out in that area that are a little not so eager, let's say, to
skeptical.
See if the Bears move there. I think it's going to be better for everyone overall, though. So that'll be cool. Back to these headliners, though. Mike Evans, as I was saying, on that burnt orange Buccaneers authentic. We've seen a couple of these, but not too many. And I mean, Mike Evans, what a name right there. Like, you're not going to want to wait on getting a Mike Evans bucket. He was a phenomenal wide receiver, probably arguably the best ever in Buccaneers history. So don't wait.
I don't
on
even
him.
think it's particularly close.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I said that just to be safe, but I'm thinking of. I'm like, I don't really know too many others that have
Like, I
been
know
there.
Keyshawn was there when they won the Super Bowl,
Not long enough though, right?
but
So-
I don't think long enough to be.
And he's not the number
anywhere there.
one.
Yeah, Vincent Jackson was there later in his career.
Yeah.
I guess they had Gronk, and Antonio Brown technically was on that team, and his stats were probably close to Mike Evans. But Mike Evans is Mr. Consistency.
Yeah.
Easy Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Not even a doubt. And yeah, definitely the best wide receiver in Bucs history for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Adam A jumping in here saying, whoever wins that JT in the college, email me after. I'll make you a crazy offer for it. Adam, I'll make you a crazy offer for this.
Well, look,
jump in there and you can win it.
There's 4 spots in that college quad.
Yeah.
Like, you can win.
Attack
and
that,
I
my
think,
man.
And I believe we talked about this earlier, but I'm sure there's a double up, because the way the college works is by school. It's not by division. So I'm
Right,
sure
right.
there's some double up opportunities, if not in the headliners, definitely in the and more section with Wisconsin, Michigan, Mississippi. That's Mississippi State, because we have Ole Miss at the bottom, but Mississippi State Bulldogs and Arkansas. I don't see any headliners for those other schools, but you have JT, and I'm sure there's got to be a Michigan player in the end more for sure.
Probably,
a
yeah.
very solid Michigan player at that.
Think about this, Chinmay. If you double up in something in the college, maybe one's a headliner, maybe one's not a headliner. That means that one that isn't a headliner
Is getting the lottery ticket.
getting
too,
the lottery
right?
ticket. So
Yeah.
you're getting a little bit of a nice UA gift card to throw yourself right back into that break to then maybe get that JT or the Allen, Wyoming bucket. And then next thing you know, you don't have to make a trade. You can just win it yourself outright.
Yeah, the Allen, JT, Bo Nix, and Polamalu are all there in the Speed Flex department, but 15 headliners in 25 boxes.
I don't know
and
where
you
you're
got
going to
the
get better
quad,
ratios.
And you got 4 spots left in that quad. Like, you don't have to wait for somebody else to win it and then give up a bunch of stuff to trade for
Right.
it.
And if the quad is moving, guys, I understand that that's a higher price point, but think about this. If people are willing to jump into the quad, that means there are a lot of things worth winning in this series. Just like Chinmay said, 15 headliners, only 10 boxes for that total of 25 don't have headliners in there. So my astute guess is that those 4 boxes that we pull from that quad break once we get to it, definitely going to have at least 2 headliners in there. At least. The math tells me that unless we have some weird fluke, there should be at least 2 headliners coming out in there because we have an over 50% chance of a headliner coming out of there. Maybe even
It's 60%.
yeah. I was gonna say it's
Yeah.
not quite 75 or
It's 60%.
for 2/3 or 75% because this is a quad box. It's not quite at 75, but I'd be comfortable even going 3 out of the 4 boxes in my mind should be headliners. You never know though. It's all random. It's all chance, but we like that. That's how we're gonna get the big wins in here.
And the other thing is, you know, like if you win something in that isn't the Jonathan Taylor, like that could be the trade chip,
Right, somebody
to
else
get
might
you
be
the
chasing
JT, instead of having to give up other stuff that you've already got.
I can't tell you how many times the stars
The worst thing,
have
the
aligned.
worst thing that you can get in the break room is a trade chip.
Right,
Like that's
yeah.
the worst thing that it can be.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times the stars have aligned in like an opposite way where somebody who is chasing A gets B,
Yeah.
and somebody who is chasing B gets A, and then boom, you have a perfect match made in heaven to
switch.
trade. I mean, it's funny how those things just work out that way, considering there are so many helmets and so many different people, so many different opinions and wants and needs in this break room. But it just and the cookie
Maybe
crumbles.
you're just
you know?
maybe you're just a Wisconsin fan.
Exactly. Yeah, right. There you go. All right, so the jerseys in this practice squad, we have 1 remaining. That's the Bo Jackson licensed jersey. It's the half home, half away on the Bo Jackson. It's very fitting because this man had 2 sides to his sporting career as well. Of course, this is an all football jersey, but this man also played baseball. So quite the overall athlete, well-rounded. The only thing he couldn't do in that one McDonald's commercial with Wayne Gretzky was skate. Bono's hockey? No, absolutely not. In that same practice squad, before I jump out of there completely, there is a Jim Kelly. We were talking about him earlier as being part of the Ann Moore section in those can't miss jerseys. So, I mean, that just shows how good that can't miss jersey series is. And I'll run down that real quick just because there's only a few headliners still remaining in there. 3 headliners in 6 boxes, and those headliners include the Dick Butkus. You know me, I pull NFC North stuff just like how Rick pulls all of his teams. Somehow, I pull my team's division. Not always my team, but in this case, it would be. That
would be
a
the only
Bears.
one.
Yeah. So typically, I'm pulling like Vikings or Packers, and then I got to go wash my hands after. But you
Yeah.
know, it is what it is. We also have a Bijan Robinson in here on that Atlanta jersey. So jump on in, get him in there, and then unphotoed in here is the Champ Bailey. But like I said, guys, remember there was a Jim Kelly that came out of the Ann Moore section in here. So those other 3 boxes, we don't know what they are. They're going to be hot fire. It's the can't miss jerseys, not just the regular jerseys. That's a can't miss series. Let's see what else we have to run down here. We did the vault. We did the practice squad. We did the can't miss. We did the NIL. Let's see. Oh, the diamonds. How could I forget about the diamonds? A breaker's best friend, right? Josh Allen on a speed flex. Arguably the second most expensive autograph in the game right now, as far as active players go. Josh Allen, an absolute legend. We talked about him a little earlier. He's got that speed flex in the college. Hey, guess what? If you don't win the speed flex in the college, you can get the speed flex version of his NFL team in the diamonds. And if somebody wants to trade you college for NFL, there you go. Vice versa. You know, don't miss out on an opportunity to win one of these 2 Josh Allen speed flexes. I like the Discover card commercial where he's called Dwayne Jetski. Yes, that was with who's that one actress? She's kind of annoying to me. I'm not gonna lie, but he's sitting next to her at the game and she has no clue who he is, and it's Wayne Gretzky. And he just pulls out the Discover card. Let's see. We also have the Aaron Donald still in here. So you like those salute to service buckets? We have an authentic and Aaron Donald. Where are my Rams fans? There's Aaron Donald. You won't want to pass up on that. He's been in this break room here and there quite a bit. I actually don't see him on the board anywhere else. Usually he would be, but we probably pulled him. So don't wait. Get this before it's gone. And last but not least, in the photoed headliners, A.J. Brown on this Kelly Green Philadelphia Eagles authentic. I love that old logo right there that they throw back to on the Eagles buckets. That is a really nice touch right there. no secondary headliners in there, but we do have 17 boxes. No, that's the vault. Sorry. 9 boxes. Otherwise, I was going to say those are some tough ratios. I would be honest with you. But 9 boxes, 3 headliners, and it's the diamonds, guys. Those other 6 boxes, of course, are going to be authentic or better. And if it's somebody that has signed on an authentic, I've noticed a trend in the break room, it's going to be somebody worth it. No disrespect to anybody on the reps, but sometimes we will get reps of guys that I don't believe we also have in the authentics or definitely the speed flexes. I mean, obviously, if you're getting a helmet of that value, you're going to want to put value on it, right? So those other 6 boxes are going to get you something very nice in the diamonds as well. What else do we have in here? We did the diamonds, we did the vault, we did the practice squad, we did the college, we did the jerseys. What am I missing? I want to say, oh, well, black and blue. How could I forget? Rip calls this our dented can series, but I'll be honest with you guys, there's not a whole lot dented about these. Our standards here at Ultimate Autographs are so high. I will literally, you've seen me here before if you've been in the break room.
It's hard to find what's going on with some of them.
I am not afraid. I know some people, don't tell them what's wrong. No, absolutely not. Transparent with the customers. I will tell them what I think is wrong, and I'll tell you 9 times out of 10, I can't find it. Now, maybe, you could make the argument that I'm not as
astute of an observer.
Yeah, I'm either that or I'm not as tenured as a helmet collector.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know the little nuances.
Sure.
But I'm gonna be honest, guys. So many people that are gonna come by and see your personal collection and love that helmet are not gonna see what you see as the little tiny defect either. And honestly, you getting into that break, you don't mind about the defects either because you realize that what we have here at Ultimate Autographs are some really nice ones regardless. We've got still in this series the Joe Namath. Where's he at in here? Oh, at the very end here on that Jets slate. He has a very big signature here. He gives John Hancock a run for his money. Joe Namath on that slate. But we also have Marcus Allen in the unphotoed headliner. So that is what is left in the black and blue. In the black and blue, there are 4 boxes, just those 2 headliners. The other 2, we don't know. We're not sure. Let's find out together. Stanky Buds says, what's all left in Huddle Up mystery boxes? I might buy one to pop something.
So my recommendation would be if you want the rep helmet, I can understand because those are all the headliners are there, and you can get a pretty good lid there. But if you were going for the minis, the mini break itself is 2 to go.
Yeah, you might as well just jump in there.
So instead of paying $180 for a mini personal, you could just pay $100 for both mini slots, and 2 helmets come out in that mini break.
Yeah.
So if you were looking at the minis, my recommendation would be to do the break instead, because you got 2 shots at one, and you would pay less than you would on a personal, technically you would be guaranteeing yourself a win on the personal, but you have 2 chances at the full size. The full size. I don't know if we do a full size rep break. I don't think so.
Stanky Buds is saying no, just the full size.
He's thinking about the full size.
Let me show you those full size ones one more time. You're more than welcome to jump in there. Let me run down the names real quick of who we have. I won't go as in deep.
I think they're all there.
I'm pretty sure it's all there. We have Bo Jackson, Kurt Warner. Where's Kurt on here? There he is. Bo Jackson down here on the Raiders. Kurt Warner over here on the Cardinals.
Okay.
That's J.J. Watt on the Camo Texans. We've got Warren Moon down here on
the classic Oilers.
Houston Oilers, Tennessee Oilers, Tennessee Titans. And then the A.J. Green. That is over here. A.J. Green on that Bengals lid. We have Antonio Gates on the Chargers Salute to Service down here. Warren Sapp. We got both Warrens. Lid. Where's he at? Oh, yeah, there he is up top there. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at the board, and it's around the computer.
I got you. Patrick Willis on the Niners lid.
Oh, yeah, that's right over here.
He'll be there. Ricky Williams who is not photoed, I believe.
No, he's right here.
Okay, he's on the Saints.
On the Saints.
And if you know Ricky Williams, there will be some other inscriptions likely on that helmet as well, relating to a certain drug.
Yeah.
Nico Collins, one of the best receivers in the NFL, was leading the league in receiving, I believe, before he pulled his hamstring. He's there on the Texans lid. Jamison Williams, who broke out this season, had an unfortunate incident in the playoff game against the Commanders, but J-Mo is on there. Kyron Williams on the Rams lid. That's a very clean.
That's
a lunar. Yeah, very clean on the Rams lid for Kyron Williams.
The Lions, Jamison Williams is an alternate, I believe, too.
Okay, and then Jalen Carter, Frank Gore, Michael Vick in the non-photoed headliners. Frank Gore and Michael Vick also in the minis as not photoed headliners. So those are the rep personals on the full size rep.
Yeah, so you could jump in there and get a rep.
Steven, that's a good suggestion. I can make note of it. And we can see what the powers that be think, or what explanation they have as to. Because I don't think we ever do exclusively a full size rep.
I don't think so. I think so many people are looking for the higher valued items, and I think some of these really nice reps get overlooked because you know what? They still are a high value. They still display just as nicely as an authentic. So yeah, that's maybe something Chinmay will pitch in the meetings for us. And we'll get that going. If you wanted to see the minis, I was going to run down that break anyways. But we might as well do it here if you wanted to buy a personal. It's the same helmet series that we pull from the room here. As far as the headliners go, you have Phil Simms here on this Giants bucket. That's like an alternate Giants because it's got the black and red. I like that touch. That's very cool. We have Revis Island, Darrelle Revis. We pulled a helmet of his yesterday. I was with Rip, of course. So not only does Rip get his favorite teams, he gets his least favorite teams. But Darrelle Revis on the little Jets Salute to Service mini here. That's a very nice one. I like this Salute to Service, actually. I think that's a unique color scheme on this one. Is that like the 3.0 or the 4.0? Which one are we on at this point?
I think it's the 3.
Okay. Yeah, it's all dark.
But
I think the 4 is the white, all white ones, right? But, yeah.
Possibly.
We still have, I don't think we have Luke Kuechly. We did pull Luke Kuechly yesterday, so he's not here. We do still have Roger Staubach, though, on this gigantic star decal on the Dallas Cowboys helmet right here. That's a very nice one. I like the matte finish on the navy right there. Sterling Sharp is still in here on his Green Bay Packers lid. That one's for you, Chinmay, right there.
Yeah.
Sterling Sharp on Green Bay. We also, like I mentioned, had him in the Can't Miss series, signed with his brother, Shannon Sharp. So both of those on the Hall of Fame logos right there, but this one on the Green Bay. We also have Jamar Chase, if you're chasing him. Once again, he signs on that vertical right there. We have Max Crosby in the Raiders. We have Marshall Faulk on that alternate, I think it's a flash alternate Rams mini. And Josh Jacobs at the very end here on Green Bay once again. So if you're in the double box for the minis, you can double up on Green Bay right here. That's an easy double up to point out right there. But if you're just buying one personal, obviously not a double up opportunity, but there's the personal pricing if you would like that. As Chinmay was saying, the secondary headliners in here, Thurman Thomas, Frank Gore, and Michael Vick. Let's see. What else have we not really gone over? I think that's about it. Because that was the minis. We did the jerseys. That's everything, guys. So, what do we like? What are we chasing? What is next? So it sounded like that quad break for the college was 4 to go.
It's now 3 to go in the college. But Austin, who was looking at that rep personal, he did pick one up. So Austin, if you are still in the chat and have a specific number in mind as far as the boxes go, they're scrolling on the ticker there. We can take care of that as these other breaks are filling up. 2 to go in the minis,
Oh, he did. We did have a personal.
and 3 to go in the quad. Yeah, Austin picked up the full size rep
Gotcha. Very nice.
on the personal. So
Yes, under reps. So we have 1 and 2, and then we have 5 through 35. So just don't call 3 or 4. Is what we're going with right there. So, he wants 5. Okay.
all right,
Perfect.
I will go track that down.
Perfect. We'll switch over into our break screen over here, and it's always going to start playing that base video again. We don't want that. We want to get into the breaks. Let me get over here to your personal tab over here. Steven, looks like you got a Roger Craig mini earlier. Very nice. Let's see if Austin can pull something very cool as well. Like just ran down tons of headliners in there, guys. So as Chinmay's grabbing that, we'll make sure that we're jumping in these other breaks. I went down the ratios. We went down the headliners. What more do you want from me, my guys? Hit me up with any of your questions. We will be on probably until about, at the very latest, we can stay on to 2:45. I'd say it's because we have to get the 3 o'clock guys in here. However, this is the unique thing about the break room is if the noon show rolls into the 3 o'clock show, it's typically the same breakers like it is here today. We could just stay on through the 3 o'clock hour. So that's up to you guys, though. If we're breaking heavily, we won't take that break. But if we do have a little bit of a lull, Chinmay and I will jump off. We'll reset things for the 3 o'clock show, and we will get going once again. So like he said, he and I will be here till about 6 o'clock tonight. When the 6 o'clock show starts, you'll have 2 new guest breakers in here. But yeah, we can go all day, or we could take that quick break, and I got you. Thank you. And then we can see what is popping. All right, well, I'm glad you called 5, Austin, because that's my lucky number. It's me breaking it. Let's see what you got here. Box number 5 in the reps. Going to Austin. Let's see what you got, my man. Oh, my goodness. I forgot to randomize. Just kidding. There we go. Let's see what we got here. In this rep series. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Oh, wow. You know, you say something and you speak it into existence. What did I say? I'm just like Rip. I either pull my division or my team. This time, it's and. It is Mike Singletary on that Chicago Bears. Very nice alternate lid right there. You see them wear the orange every once in a while. I wish they would do it a lot more. But Mike Singletary, an absolute legend, a monster of the Midway. He's been in our break room here before.
Yeah.
He's broken boxes with us.
He was here a couple weeks ago signing things, I believe.
And I'm guessing this is
maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, because it was around St. Patrick's Day. I
Yeah.
remember. So this was probably most likely one of the ones that that he signed. It's got the JSA certification on the back. So even though he probably came here and signed it, JSA was here to make sure that it's authenticated, which means you do have a JSA certification card that goes with it. There's a nice one. There you go. So this one was probably signed very recently. So guys,
Like in the last,
this is what you
yeah,
can
like
get.
around St. Patrick's Day. So in the last like month and a half, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm torn because you know what? We haven't had a whole lot of helmets just yet. I know we're going to be putting more on the table. So for now, I'm going to leave this one out just because it is a Bears one. It's our guy, Mike Singletary. And I think I want to clutter this up just a little bit more. So we'll throw Mike Singletary up here. If it was one of the regular Bears helmets, the blue, I don't know. Even though I'm a Bears fan, it doesn't pop to me. I'm not a huge fan
I do like
of
the
those.
orange.
Yeah,
I like
wish
the
they would
orange
go
a
with
little
this
bit.
more.
Yeah.
So Mike Singletary will sit on up there. I'll put the JSA card back in the bag. But then we will write up this one for Austin. Nice job, Austin. Way
Yeah,
to take some charge,
great
get a
hit.
break in here, and then also show people that that's what could be possibly yours if you jump into that rep series, even if it's just the minis, any personals, you know.
But yeah, so 3 spots to go in that college quad, and 2 spots to go in the mini break. Those are the 2 breaks that are the closest to happening right now. The minis is a double break, so we will open 2 boxes in the minis, and then obviously the quad, we would open 4 boxes. In that college, which is loaded, 15 headliners in 25 boxes, 60% chance at a headliner, but as we've said, the college and more section is probably the most loaded and more section, just because a lot of college players might not be as notable in the NFL,
Right.
but they were studs in college, and
Absolutely.
that's what they're in the and more in the college series section.
No doubt about that. Guys, you might be a little sluggish today, a little tired if you were tuning into the UA After Dark show yesterday, but how did that go? Let me know your thoughts if you were in there. Any suggestions, any comments and concerns? And then also, I mean, thanks for joining us here. Again, what do you want to see here from us at the noon and the 3 o'clock shows? While you were up in the other room, I was telling him, if we're breaking like crazy, we could stay on through 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And go to the almost 6 o'clock hour when the new guys, or no, I shouldn't say new guys, it's going to be Rip and Joe that are coming on for 6 o'clock. But yeah, that would be the only time that you and I have to absolutely get off. However, if it is slow, we'll take that break, we'll regroup, we'll come back at 3 o'clock, and we'll keep it moving here in the break room.
Absolutely.
What do you want to see off this board? Is there a particular one that you have your eye on that you'd love to see get broken?
I'd like to see the JT Speed Flex.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I know some people in the chat were, trying to get that. So I'd like to see the JT Speed Flex for sure. The Polamalu one, I know because it's USC, they can't do too much jazzing up with it. There was some good Troy Polamalu ones that came through in terms of design for the Steelers, but that Troy Polamalu one is pretty good. USC. I would probably, I think the JT, and I wasn't a huge Bo Nix fan coming out, but that Bo Nix helmet is sick too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do we have a picture? We don't have a video. Oh, we do have a video of the Bo Nix.
Yeah,
I was like,
we're now 1 to go in that mini break.
1 to go in the minis.
That mini break should happen. We are 1 to go there, and that is again a double break on the mini. So we will open 2 boxes in that mini break.
Steinke Bud's saying that he wants that Jefferson because he's a Vikings fan. The Jefferson did get pulled, as B. Williams was informing you on there. B. Williams loves the Troy Polamalu one. Yeah, absolutely. That's a nice one. Where's that at in here? Right here. That Speed Flex Trojan USC helmet right there. That's a very nice one. Jason, did you win? That's a loaded question, my man. I don't know what you were in though, so let us know.
He did win. He won the Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, okay.
He won the Lawrence Taylor, which is sitting on the desk right now.
The lone helmet we got out here, other than the rep. Personal.
Maybe take the screen down and you can see the the LT. So yeah, this Lawrence Taylor, Jason, is what you won in the practice squad. The authentic Michigan looking Giants helmet.
Yeah. How about
with
that
LT.
for you? You did win, Jason. Very nice. Looks like we have the minis filled.
And the minis just got closed out, so we will do that break here.
Very nice. So guys, as
so
Jason's
Jason,
looking his helmet.
that practice squad filled out, and we did that break. That was the first break that we did, and you won the Lawrence Taylor in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get this while Chinmay's getting that set up. Let me drop this number in here, or drop the request for a number. This is break number. Which break are we on for minis? Do you know?
We are on break 2 for the minis.
This is coin toss. Coin toss. Mini break number 2. Drop me 2 box numbers. Vault Double does have quite a few headliners. It'd be a shame to see those on the board by the end of the day. Stinky Bud's saying 3 and 14. Let me grab those for you.
Steven continuing to push the Vault Double, and I mean, he's correct. You have 8 headliners and 17 boxes, but then if you also throw in the 3 vault keys, you're looking at getting an item as well as that vault key, and the 300 on the vault key is still available. So the vault is definitely loaded, and that double break, I mean, still 6 to go, but you know, you get 2 shots at the over 50% headliner ratio.
So here's those minis, guys.
Way over 50% if you include the vault keys.
Try to get all these names in here real quick. I'm so close. It's always the struggle, right? There, yeah, you can kind of see them. Scrolling at the bottom there. Okay, this is our coin toss mini number 2. We got the box numbers from Stinky Buds. That's Austin Stinky. Is it Steinke? Am I?
Yeah, I think it's Stein. I don't know. It sounds like Steinke.
Let us know, my man.
But yeah, let us know for sure.
We've got Ryan Andreessen, Ryan McCall, Al Gaona, Jody Grider, Michael Convey, Larry Jensen, and Austin, who is our box caller. He's also got the closer magic going on here. Let's get you guys randomized. Where's my screen? There we go. Paste you guys in there. 6 times around today. 6 times, not 12. Made a little bit of a break. I say that now, and then I'm going to roll a 12 in the 3
o'clock show. You're going to roll a 12
if we have
for
to
sure.
step off. So if we continue, then we'll keep the 6 on the chase wheel spin. Or not the chase wheel spin, the dice roll. But if we do have to take our break, we'll get another chase and another dice roll. And I might be setting myself up for failure. No. Here's our divisions, guys, as you can see right there. Austin moves from all the way at the bottom to the top in the NFC North. And my man, if you were hearing me earlier today, I pull a lot of NFC North. So I hope that that's a good sign for you.
Well, he said he's a Vikings fan.
He did, yeah. So he's got his Vikings spot. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So Ryan McCall is in the NFC South. Jody Grider, NFC East. Ryan Andreessen, you are in the NFC West. Ryan McCall again in the AFC North. Michael Convey in the AFC South. Al Gaona in the AFC East. And the AFC West belongs to Larry Jensen. Box number 3 coming up right here in the UA break room. Let's take a look at what we got here. These are our new sort of temporary boxes until we get the mini boxes back. Wow, okay. This is not a headliner. This is a deep cut. I did not think I would be seeing this name in the break room, quite possibly ever. It's Navarro Bowman.
Wow.
On the 49ers mini right there. 49ers, of course, that is an NFC West hit. So that is going to Ryan Andreessen. Ryan, congratulations on this one. That's sick. I mean, that's not a name you think of coming out of these breaks, but very unique hit here in the break room. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, Jason is asking if there's any Jags. Brian Thomas Jr. is in the college series as that would be an LSU helmet. So it wouldn't be a Jags helmet, but Brian Thomas Jr. is in that college series. There are some Jags helmets in the minis I've seen. That Brunell helmet that Steven mentioned. I've seen Jimmy Smith in the minis. There was Maurice Jones-Drew was in there as well.
Yeah.
We do get some Jaguars.
He was on the board last week. Maurice Jones.
Michael Convey, is the AFC South still in the league? They are still in the league, Michael.
The AFC South gets so much hate in this. I will not stand for it. We don't
They are
stand for.
still in the league.
We don't stand for
And
AFC
maybe
South.
maybe we'll get Travis Hunter in the on a Jags helmet soon.
Could be. We don't stand for any AFC South slander.
Cam Ward and
Ward.
Travis Hunter could both be in on helmets soon for
Fox.
the AFC South.
Box 14 of 30. We won't stand for any AFC South or any and more slander here in the break room. We love it all. We love it all. All right, box number 14. Ooh. Oh, yeah. I was going to say this has got to be a headliner. Yeah. This is a secondary headliner. This is Michael Vick on the Atlanta Falcons Salute to Service mini right here. So a nice hit. That's in the NFC South. That is going to Ryan McCall. Ryan McCall, very nice hit right there. And you are a big winner, my man. A headliner, Michael Vick. Very nice. The Salute to Service. You got the little stickers on the back here. Not only the Beckett certification, but you also have the Salute to Service NFL logo and the American flag. So overall, just a very nice hit. You could see, maybe I didn't show this off super well, the Mike Vick signature right up top there. Boom. There you go. Michael Convey, didn't they go to the AFC South? Nope, they're in the NFC South, so you're close.
Yeah, double Ryan's winning in this break. Maybe it's there's closer magic. There, some people say there's starter magic. Some people say there's box collar magic. Maybe there's Ryan magic.
I'll be honest with you guys, not to be a Debbie Downer here, but I don't believe in any of it. I just believe in random chance. But I am with you guys if you want to tote that and if we want to promote that. That you guys are the box callers. Definitely thank your box callers. You know, if they called out something that you ended up winning, make sure you thank them. You know, that's part of it. That's part that's real. The rest of it, I don't know, guys. It's all one big jumble in this mad world, right? So a nice hit right there. We got a mini break done. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What are we on to next, guys? It's 1:30. If we're breaking like crazy, Chinmay and I will stay on a little after 2. And, you know, we'll keep the party going. If not, we'll probably close up around 2 o'clock. We don't have a Chase Wheelspin yet.
5 to go in that vault double, as Steven mentioned, and 3 to go in that college quad.
Okay.
Those are definitely, you know, if you want to see something happen, those are definitely the breaks to look at. And college is also the Chase Wheelspin for this show. So you can get your name in there 4 times since it's a quad break. You would get 4 chances in that Wheelspin. So yeah, college quad definitely looking like the move if you want something to happen quick. 3 spots to go, but Steven has been pushing for the vault all day. And there are 5 spots to go. That break has been slowly moving, so that's also an option.
Yes, sir. That is doable. That is more than doable. All right, guys. So, get your spots in there. Get your spots in the Chase Wheelspin when you get into the college. That we will automatically put you into the Chase Wheelspin. Let us know. We are... As Rip would say, we are but a vessel. But I'll say we're just the middleman because I'm well, not that Rip's not Italian, but I am Italian as well. I'm just the middleman. Don't come after me.
Yeah.
Like just you tell me what you want. We go get the boxes. We bring it out. We get you the prize. You know. I don't know nothing. You know. Although I do know that there are too many names on this board for there to be at the end of this day still. Trying to think of what is something I want to see coming out of here. Because you talked about a lot of what's in that college.
Yeah.
I did mention the Bo Nix myself.
Or, you know, I mean, the vault, like Jordan Love is sitting in the vault. Let's bring out Jordan Love.
Right.
Puka Nakua.
There's
Luka
also that
Nakua and Jordan Love and the Jamar Chase, speed flex. Speed
yeah.
flex is looking real clean. So
Oh yeah.
in that vault, and that's a vault double, so we could see two headliners pop out.
The sports director at WRMN. I am the assistant sports director there. I know, fancy title. I don't even like using it because like I do put a lot of work into that, whether it's getting press access or sending out emails for that or contacting teams or even just doing the show notes for my show every Saturday.
Sure.
Organizing the content. But the sports director himself, he is at the White Sox game doing press today, so he's giving me a little sneak peek of what to expect. I love it. They give you a whole monitor in front of you and everything, so you don't have to whip out your laptop and also stream the game. But like you could still, I mean, obviously you could still see the game. You're up in the press box, and it's first base side. It looks like so.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing the game from the third base side just because, the home team typically sits on the third base side. My cousin has had White Sox season tickets right behind the White Sox dugout for decades now at this point, years and years. So we've always been fortunate enough to use his seats here and there. And then also I played third base. So I just saw the game from that angle. But you know what? I won't mind a first base view of the game either. I mean, that's pretty cool to look out and see the park from that angle. And then also, I didn't think about this until just now. CHSN, Chicago Sports Network, is the new home for the White Sox, Bulls, and Blackhawks. And even though it's hard to get at home for some, that is each one of their teams, well, both the Bulls and the Blackhawks play at the United Center. Their studio location is right there.
Yeah.
So they built one at Rate Field. I call it Comiskey, but at Rate Field, they built one right in there. So I'm sure I'm not going to be too far from there.
No,
so
yeah. And
my goal is to shake some hands.
I know a lot of those people. Worked with a lot of them before. So but a lot of good people there. So hopefully, if you're able to run into some of them over there.
You have to be a good person to work for the White Sox. You got to be a saint because I don't know if I'd be able to do it right now. No, I kid. Let's see. Bobby or Convey, are you open to trading any of your flexes? See you guys winning a lot of cool ones and would make a good offer. What are you looking for? Adam, custom specialty flexes don't have a chrome or a hydro. The Rip Styles the Rip Styles 2 are cool. We'll have to see. Those are some pricey requests, but I don't know. Adam might be able to meet those requests. Yeah, Michael Convey saying he does have some of the chromes and the painted speed flexes. Michael, was it you last night? Somebody was jumping in the break room last night and talking about how they want to start having a chrome speed flex collection. So like all chrome speed flexes. I think that would look really cool in any household. All those chrome speed flexes just glistening back right at you.
There is so the Black and Blue series 4 to go in this current series, but the next series in the Black and Blue is the Black and Blue Speed Flex.
Yeah.
So that would be all speed flexes in the Black and Blue once this series gets closed out. Now, I haven't seen any movement on the Black and Blue through basically 1.5 shows. But if speed flex is what you guys are interested in, you can close out the Black and Blue here, and then we can get into the Black and Blue Speed Flex, which will be all speed flexes.
Yes, sir. Might as well, right?
Yeah, like
why not wait?
If that's what you want, then those are the options there.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else is going on?
Couple of game 7s tonight.
Yes, yeah.
If you're a Denver sports fan,
you shaking.
You are on pins and needles tonight.
Yeah, we have the Nuggets going up against
Avs Stars at 7, and then Nuggets Clippers at 7:30.
Yeah,
that is a double screen. Yeah, maybe you're going to the Nuggets game, and then I'm sure they'll show the Avs score at some point,
right?
in that arena. Maybe you're at home with,
They
with
share
two
that
screens.
arena, yeah.
Maybe you're at home with 2 screens and just doing nothing else, watching those 2 games. But that is, that's a tense moment.
Oh yeah,
If you're a
that's for
Denver
sure.
sports fan and support both those teams.
I have, well, okay, there's only 6 series that have concluded in the NHL first round. Mm-hmm. I have all 6 correct right now. I need the Jets to win.
Okay.
I didn't take them in 7. A couple of the games are off here and there
Yeah.
based on the first round, but I need the Jets to win here. And then I could be on the verge of going 7-8. I would go 8-8 if the Colorado Avalanche win tonight.
Okay.
Of course, they're in Dallas, so that's
Yeah.
a little bit of a daunting task. But
But they did win in Dallas earlier in the series,
yeah,
right?
so can they overcome a Game 7 atmosphere like they did in what game was it? Game 5 that they took it to the brink to get to Game 6 to go home, or was that might have been
So-
earlier in the season? Oh no, because they won Game 1 in Dallas.
They won game 1 in Dallas.
Yeah. So, but I might have 7 of 8 series right
Yeah.
in this first round, which is great, right? But then you think about it and you go, who do I have winning the Stanley Cup? The Colorado Avalanche.
Oh.
So it's all or nothing at this
Yeah.
point for me. It's all for naught
All
if they
in
don't go
on
to
game
the
7
second
tonight.
round.
So Matthew, you entered in that jersey break, and at the moment you're the only one in that break. So when that'll happen, I can't really tell you when it'll happen because it'll only happen when the break gets filled up.
Yeah.
And
so-
at the moment, you're the only one in the break. So you can, push the chat to try to get them in that jersey break to make it happen here in the next, 15, 20 minutes or so. But otherwise, it'll happen when that break gets filled up. And at the moment, 7 spots still to go of the 8
Yeah.
in that jersey break. But you are in the break. I do see you in the break. I have you in the break. So
And not to
that
worry.
that part is good. And if it doesn't happen this show, it'll happen. The break will eventually fill out, and eventually it will happen.
And not to worry because that will carry over into future shows. And like Jim May said, whenever the break happens, it'll happen. But yeah, like he said, you can rally the troops here in the chat and get everybody. This is a really great community. Sometimes people are willing to help you out because it might help them out. They might win something in there as well too. So they'll maybe jump in there with you. Or if you have any friends or family that are looking to hop in there and help you out, or if you just want to buy a couple more spots. Once people start to see it at like 4 to go is when they go, oh, that break's going to happen. Now I'm going to jump in here and boom, next thing you know, it's getting closed out. So if you want to double up to not only push it to its brink, but also get yourself a couple more chances to win that jersey when it comes out, that's all. That's doable. Not Troop. That's Moses saying Oilers hopefully win it. I do wish that Connor McDavid gets a ring by the end of his career. I think they were a much stronger team last year, and they took themselves all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and Florida was just the better team. So,
I selfishly wanted the Oilers to get swept last season in the final.
Oh, did you?
So that the Blackhawks could try to trade for Connor McDavid.
oh God, yeah. I don't think that was happening, but it's
You got to pair the Connors, Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid.
And I can't wait till we get
Connor-
like an international. It might be the Olympics. We'll see if Connor Bedard makes the team. I would imagine he does. But in the Winter Olympics, I'll give you a little hint. I'm actually trying to go to the Winter
okay.
Olympics. It's in Italy. I'd love to go back to
Yeah.
Italy, and I do really want to see some Olympic hockey. So that is on my bucket list. I'm saving up for it right now. But if we see both Connor Bedard and Connor McDavid on that Canada team at the Winter Olympics, I mean, I think you just award the gold medal to them now, right? Like the U.S. came close in that Four Nations face-off, and I think the U.S. hockey program is eventually going to surpass the Canadians at this point with how exponentially they have grown in both size and talent. But I don't know, Canada's just still too
And you
much
had,
of a powerhouse.
we had a very explosive Four Nations
Yeah.
face-off. What was it? 3 fights in 10 seconds.
yeah, and that first matchup between those two teams.
Oh man.
I mean, when you're the United States or really any other country or team going into this, like you just look at that Canada roster and you're like, okay, McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, maybe in these Winter Olympics, Bedard. How do you stop that? Like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, I know what you're supposed to do, and I know they know what they're supposed to do, which is what they did in that first game in the Four Nations, which is don't give McDavid the time and space to get to build up that speed. So they cut him off in the neutral zone in ways where they would kind of gum up those back and forth 1-2 passes and stuff. So he couldn't really get a whole lot of speed, couldn't evade the neutral zone for checking, but like, that's so much easier to say.
Tough.
How do you do
very
it?
Tough
You know?
to do. I still remember me and a lot of other sports fans, and I think in general, Team USA fans were very upset when Sidney Crosby scored the winning
golden goal,
in overtime against the Americans in that gold medal match.
I was
in
heartbroken
2010.
there too. Yeah,
that was a tough one.
The only consolation was that so many Hawks got medals, like Jonathan Toews and Patrick Sharp and Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook. There was a couple more, I think.
And I
on
think
that
Kane
team.
was on the U.S. team.
Kane was on the U.S. team.
So he's, I mean, not gold, but
then
still got silver.
They all come back home and then they all win a cup together.
Yeah.
And flash forward a couple years and they're playing Sidney Crosby and the Penguins out on Soldier Field outdoors. I mean, it was all just kind of a full circle moment of like everybody's technically a teammate there at the end of the day in some fashion.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you're just watching a bunch of legends. And then you've got Jonathan Toews, which I believe it was in that Winter Stadium series at Soldier Field where, you know, Crosby was kind of known. It was funny. We were kind of comparing him loosely to the NBA and LeBron James earlier because Crosby was kind of known as the whiner of the league, right? He would whine for the calls. So here they are as teammates in both the Winter Olympics in Vancouver and in Sochi. And then all of a sudden Toews skates away as Crosby's arguing a call and he goes, "Quit whining, shut up." Like, you know, that's so funny. But yeah, I don't know, Moses. I don't know if the Oilers have what it takes to do it this year. A lot of injuries. They struggled with the Kings, but then they did rattle off 4 wins. But then again, this is Oilers and Kings first round again. Did you expect it to go any different? I mean, I had the Oilers still picked, but I did expect the Kings to put up a much better fight than in previous years.
Game 7?
And they did. They did put up a much better fight. They didn't get it. Yeah, they didn't quite get it to that Game 7, but. You know, this is a Kings team that people should fear. I mean, they're on the come up. There's a lot of young talent there. And hometown kid Alex Turcotte, I have a friend who is friends with him.
Okay.
And then also you've got Quentin Byfield, who is a stud. I mean, an absolute menace out there. Love that guy. But you still have your mainstays like the Drew Dowdys and Adrian. I believe Kempe's still there.
Kopitar is still there.
Kopitar, that's who I was thinking of. I don't think Kempe's still there. But yeah, I mean, like
Doughty and Kopitar. A lot of Blackhawks fans will remember.
Yeah.
Doughty and Kopitar. Some really, really heated battles between the Blackhawks and Kings in the early 2010s.
Yes, yeah. I'm still not over the 2014 Game 7 in which that goal was offsides, never should have gone to overtime in the first place. And then when you did, who scores the OT winner? Alec Martinez. Who goes on to score the OT winner in the cup clinching Game 5 of the Stanley Cup final that year? Alec Martinez. And then who did the Blackhawks sign this year? Alec Martinez. So it was like, he's a Blackhawk now. You got to love him. He's probably a really nice guy, but you also kind of hate him.
He may have taken a championship away from him.
He did. Yeah. Although who knows if the Blackhawks end up getting in the cup in 15 then, right? If they win 14, maybe they get picked apart a little bit more, but still it's the what ifs that drive me.
I remember
crazy.
In 2013, the year the Blackhawks won, they played the Kings in the conference
finals, yeah.
Conference finals, yeah. Played the Kings in the conference finals, and it was so we stay University of Missouri. Basically, like you can apply to be a resident after you can really apply at any time, but if you do it after your freshman year, you can get like the in-state tuition rate. Going forward. So me and 2 other kids, we were rooming over the summer. I'm from Chicago. One of the other guys is from Chicago. Other guys from LA.
Oh, yikes.
So every game of that series was just like, we were all on pins and needles watching. And it was, and Blackhawks thankfully came out on top. So we were very happy. But that was a very fun.
I can only imagine the vibe in the room.
Yeah.
When Patrick Kane scores that heartbreaker goal.
Oh.
Kane to Toews. Oh, my goodness. Voinov loses that puck.
Eventually, we'll see what Connor Bedard eventually does.
Right.
But I think my personal favorite Blackhawks player is Patrick Kane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think even regardless of what Connor Bedard does in his career, because he was the first superstar Blackhawk that I grew up with, that I fell in love with, it's got to be Patrick Kane. Although I always, for the longest time, was like, I want to deviate from the norm. Everybody was getting Kane jerseys and Taves jerseys, and yeah, they're the stars, but like, I had a lot of appreciation for the Dustin Byfugliens. I named my dog after him.
Okay.
The Andrew Shaws when he takes a puck to the face. Like, I love that guy. I went to like 2 of his signings. I think he started to get to know me after a while. I was like, sorry, I'm a stalker at this point. I was still in my fandom days rather than media days. But no, I always loved the depth pieces there. I'm actually good friends. I don't know if I'd say. I mean, I'd consider him a friend. But Scott Darling, the backup goaltender from 2015, we met at a Fall Out Boy concert. Like my mom and I are sitting there on the field with my one friend who bought the tickets for us. And then another friend of mine that like I think we kind of snuck him down by us because we're on the field. We're going to be standing the whole time. Like you could just squeeze in by us. And then next thing you know, my mom's got her Blackhawks purse just sitting on her lap while we're listening to the openers. And this dude with the unmistakable big red beard, well, like tannish beard, comes walking over and sits down right next to us. And that was their seats, literally right next to us. And it's Scott Darling and his girlfriend. The funny thing was my previous job, I was actually working with an aunt of his, so somebody that married into the family.
You're gonna be invited to like
it's like
all Scott Darling related events.
So we always, every time there's a Fall Out Boy concert, like they played at Riot Fest last year, I always hit him up. I'm like, where are you at? Where are you standing? We were at Korn together last fall.
Okay.
He got to go behind the stage VIP. I didn't get that. That would have been cool. But
VIP adjacent. You could have gone VIP adjacent.
I was there with our buddy here in the break room, Nick Johnston, as well.
Okay.
So he was at that same Korn concert. And then also Scott Darling has moved into the stand-up comedy realm now. So every once in a while I'll go see one of his shows.
You can try your hand at that.
All I got to do is stand up there and show people my face. That is all I got to do for stand-up comedy. You see this clown nose? Boom, there you go. That's all you got.
You could open for him. Well, technically, he might open for somebody else.
Yeah, right. Oh,
You could be like the pre-opener. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome tonight. They're like, wow, that guy's Italian. His nose stretches across the room. I'm touching the boxes over there right now. But no, yeah, he's a great guy. He's a good dude. I saw him at something else. What else did I see him at? Oh, well, right after we were at that first Fall Out Boy concert, I was like, I'm going down to the draft to see Connor Bedard get drafted in Nashville. And he goes, you're going down? I'm like, I had never been to Nashville. He's like, all right. He's like, let me know, because here's tickets to my show. Come to my show. And we were hanging out with a bunch of the Barstool guys. White Sox Dave and some of those guys.
Yeah.
And Barstool Nashville had just opened, so we were all hanging out in there.
Okay.
Next thing you know, Scott Darling's nowhere to be found. So my mom and I were like, all right, well, like we had our fill here. Let's go walk the strip and kind of be tourists and whatever. We had our heads down in our phones trying to navigate where we're at like tourists. And all of a sudden we hear, guys, we look up at Scott Darling with like big arms. We're like, what the heck? Why are you excited to see us? It should be the other way around. So, absolute legend right there. Hometown boy, too. Lamont kid.
Yeah.
Oh, he's also big in the haunt world. I was talking about how I do a bunch of haunt stuff. I forget if we were talking about that on camera or...
No, you mentioned it.
It was when we were talking about the messy stuff. But, he goes around to a bunch of like the haunted houses and knows a lot of the people I know, too, which is so random.
The haunted house... My deal with the haunted houses is like I'm not really big on horror movies and that type of stuff. There was like a phase where we were watching horror movies, but not really big on that. There are some haunted houses where like it's a challenge. Like you have like a certain amount of levels that you like get money back if you cross a certain amount of levels.
I've heard of those.
And they just make it like insanely terrifying.
Stuff.
So that you don't like make it to the highest level to get like your money back.
Yeah, no.
And I just think like, why would you subject yourself to that?
Though that stuff
What crosses your mind to like think that this is this is like a good idea?
That's not the type of stuff that I do. That's the type of stuff that the people in it is an industry now. The people in our industry get a bad rap because of people who go out and promote like that, because it's like nobody's subjecting themselves
It's not
to
even-
that type
look,
of torture.
I
I don't know who's crazy enough to do it, but there are
Look,
people.
there are
but,
people
like,
willing to do it. So they don't exist.
That's not haunt. That's
they,
torture.
They
That's,
don't exist.
That's crazy.
They don't exist just to exist.
Right,
they're-
right, yeah.
they're making money somehow, and some people are signing up for this.
Yeah.
So they don't exist just to exist. But yeah, you're right. Most haunted houses and haunts are probably not of that level.
There's the one that everybody knows that, sometimes people don't want to say the name and give, it's like a Voldemort thing because it's like nobody wants to say the name and actually give that guy any kind of credit or hype. But it's McCamey Manor, and he's been shut down in 2 separate states now. And he claims that there's money at the end. All you have to do is sign up on this wait list, and your admission is a can of dog food that goes to a shelter, which,
okay,
good,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But the fact that there is a wait list, do you know how many people don't go to like just the regular haunted houses that aren't torture, that are even like no touch, no contact, all that kind of stuff like that, or even just minimal contact? Like, there are people that won't go to that. So, and those places aren't even wait listed. Can you imagine a wait list for basically a torture basement? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. The numbers don't add up, Like, if you're not waitlisted to go to a regular haunted house with the rest of the general population, the torture ones are waitlisted. What?
It's not something that.
That's crazy, and nobody has ever gotten the money at the end. So sometimes he'll deem that like, oh no, you can't continue, and the person is like, no, I can continue the torture, and it's like, no, you're freaking out. It's like, yeah, there's probably not any real money, and you just make it extremely hard so that nobody can pass it. So that's all. I think that guy's in jail right now too, which is, and not even for that kind of stuff. I think it was for something else. So
It's always for something else.
That's just
It's
a crazy
always for
world.
something else.
But no, yeah, the haunt world gets a bad rap because of those people. There's a documentary coming out though that I got to see back in February at a convention that will give the industry a much better light, and it was a phenomenal documentary, and it mostly takes place right here in Illinois.
Cool.
I mean, some places are across the country,
Yeah.
but the main ones that filmed it are here in Illinois. So that is nice, guys. We're approaching the 2:00 hour. I know it's been fun chit-chatting here, but we do have to get to business here. I will go through the ratios one more time, and maybe I'll read off a couple of these major headliners. I'm not going to do another full top-to-bottom rundown unless you're just jumping in and you would like me to recap a series for you and see what's still available. But by the time I'm done with that, we might be looking at like 205. We do not have a Chase Wheelspin. We got close with that college quad. We're so close. That'll probably go in that 3 o'clock show. So hopefully it's our Chase Wheel Spin again. But let me give a quick rundown here. And if we don't have anything else breaking, then Chinmay and I will be jumping off. So then we got the Black and Blue series. As Chinmay said, as soon as we close out the Black and Blue Authentics, we'll have the Black and Blue Speed Flexes. That's 2 headliners in 4 boxes, so a 50% ratio in that series. Let's just get that closed out real quick, guys. That's nice and easy. You could still get Joe Namath and Marcus Allen. How about another 50% ratio? That is the Can't Miss jerseys. We have 3 headliners in 6 boxes. And with how nice that Can't Miss jersey series has been, that was, I believe, where we pulled the Run TMC jersey, if that wasn't the practice squad and more. But regardless, it was in the Ann Moore section. And then, like people were saying earlier, Jim Kelly was in the Ann Moore. So deep series. Don't wait on that. 6 boxes to go. Let's get that closed out. The Diamonds, there's also 3 headliners in there, but 9 boxes. So a little bit more in the Diamonds, but it's Authentics or better. I should mention those 3 headliners in the Can't Miss jerseys: Dick Butkus, Bijan Robinson, and Champ Bailey. Who is Champ? Can I talk to Champ? Have you ever seen the John Cena prank call? That question will be answered this Sunday night. Pick 6 Diamonds, though, as I said, 9 boxes, those 3 headliners. How about a Josh Allen Salute to Service Speed Flex? STSSF, Salute to Service Speed Flex. An Aaron Donald and an AJ Brown in the Authentics. And like I said, guys, Diamonds, are Authentics or better. So jump on in there and get some diamond helmets. The Vault, 8 headliners in 17 boxes, but I really consider it 11 because you have 3 Vault keys. One of them is $300, so well worth the price of admission. The other 2 keys, $100 a piece. So that might pay for a single spot for you or half of a double spot. So we're going to be basically giving you a helmet in the single if you win a vault key, or we're paying for half of what you spent and still giving you a helmet if you're in a double. So that's a pretty nice deal right there. The practice squad, 6 headliners left. 3 of them are authentics. Half of those 6.
So
No,
that'll
five.
be 5 headliners.
Yeah, we
left.
did pull one. My bad.
We pulled the LT.
Right. So that'll be 5 headliners in 13 boxes.
Yep.
Still pretty good ratios right there, though. 3 of them are authentics: Ray Lewis, Terrell Davis, and Mike Evans. Not sure what that Jim Kelly's on because it's in the secondary unphotoed headliners. But we also have Bo Jackson, Bo Nose, on that licensed jersey. The minis, guys, we did 2 minis. So that brings us down to 9 headliners.
10
Or is that
headliners.
Oh, yeah, because we only pulled the one. My
Only
bad.
1 headliner, but 25 boxes. So
20
9 headline or 10 headliners. Sorry, in 25 boxes. Yeah.
Math is not my strong suit this afternoon. The college, though, that was our Chase wheel spin. We didn't get a box break in there, so that's still 15 out of the 25
That
boxes.
quad is still 3 to go.
We're close.
In the college.
It's
so,
going to be 21 to go in the college.
Yeah.
And I'm
that
guessing
should
we pull some
happen
headliners.
in the next show.
Very nice. And then that 1 in 4, guys, it is inching along. It looks very similar to the college, though. Instead of 15 and 25, it's 17 and 27. Those are our numbers. 17 headliners, 27 boxes. Anyone want to knock out a quick diamond double or single before they sign off, says SMC. And that's a very good question. Let's see if we can rally the troops. Bob asking, newbie question. If I bought a practice squad double last night, does it roll into today? My ticket wasn't used. Yes, it would, but I don't know. We've done a couple practice squads since then.
So,
Which one is he
do
in?
you know what? Do you know what?
Yeah, if you have
What number you bought into? Like what number the break was on the double?
or do you have an order number, Bob? Let us know your order number for that one.
Because I
Because I know there was an issue with the break numbers.
I
the
see
emails?
him in. I see him in the double.
Oh, is it
right
just
now.
him in the double?
But he's the only one in the double.
Okay.
So, Bob, you're the only one in the double right now.
So you're still
it
there.
is rolling in. So it is rolled into today. It'll keep rolling on. You have that spot until the break happens.
Yeah.
So whenever that break does happen, you'll be in there. We've got you, Bob. You don't need to look up an order number or anything. We've got you in the double break.
Yeah.
But you're the only one in there right now. So the other 7 spots need to fill up for that break to happen. But you'll be in that break whenever it does happen. Like I was saying earlier, you can rally the troops in the chat.
Yeah.
Say, let's knock out this practice squad double. I've got a spot. Everyone else can get a spot. Knock out the practice squad double. So that's, an option. Or you can just wait and see and wait until people fill out the break themselves. But yes, you are in that break. And you will be in that break whenever it happens. It rolls over until the break happens.
Yeah, I understand sometimes that's a little hard if you can't make it to every single show, but don't worry. The next time you log in, you can always pose a question in the chat if that break broke and if you won anything, or you can do the kind of psychopathic route and just not even ask and see if it shows up on your doorstep. Although there will be, if you did win something.
If you won something, you'll
go
get
to
some
shipping.
get some sort of notification.
It'll go to shipping, and then you'll get a confirmation number with a tracking number as well. So that'll be good. But other than that, we've got nothing too close. So Chinmay and I are going to sign off for now, and then come back for the 3 o'clock hour. I know we don't have a whole lot here right now, but your hit of the show. What are you? It's kind of a toss up here.
It's got to be the LT.
Yeah.
I think it's Lawrence Taylor. He's been in the news recently as well. One of the all-time great defensive players. I know the Mike Singletary, that orange helmet is looking real nice on that alternate Bears lid, but I'm going to go with LT on the classic old school Giants lid.
I think I'd be a little bit too much of a hometown fan to pick the Mike Singletary. I mean, he's an absolute legend in and of himself. That is a beautiful orange rep, but I got to go with the authentic, especially with this little speckled decal in there, and it's Lawrence Taylor. I love that one, so I'm with you on that. So, guys, thank you again for jumping in. Make sure you follow us on all of our social medias. That would be Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it now. We have also a TikTok. I'm trying to think of just words for social media platforms. But the most important ones are the ones that we stream on, which is Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find us here at 9 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., and 6 p.m. right here in the Ultimate Autographs break room.